And today you should be on page 72 of chapter 13. Just to refresh your memory, we started with practice 2 yesterday and we did some interpretation of bar graphs. So we looked at the data and information we had compiled or collected and answered some questions that go with it. So you should have 69, 70, and 71 finished. And we're moving on to 72, 73, and 74, and that's where we'll stop. So these 3 pages before we get to line plots, because line plots are a little bit different. So we're going to do this one together. Okay, you can follow along right with me, and then when you get to 73 and 74, I'm going to have you do those on your own, and then come back and check your work for them. This bar graph shows the kinds of juices that people like. I have my title here, Juices That People Like. It fits directly with the information I'm presenting or I've collected. My scale is off to the left. My scale is in 5s. And it shows the number of people that like this particular kind of juice. And the kind of juice is labeled on the horizontal axis down at the bottom. I have mixed berry, orange, pineapple, carrot, apple. Like I said the other day, sometimes I like to go through and just right away figure out what's in each bar so I don't have to keep making lines over. So mixed berry, I see there's 25. Orange goes all the way up to 50. And notice here they did not follow my rule that usually we leave one space open at the top, and that's okay. Most of the time there would be one additional bar up here, but in this case they decided not to, and that's okay. Pineapple, if I go all the way up, I'm almost to 40. Actually, I'm just over 40. Okay, so my 40 line is right here, and then I have to go one more up, and you can see the little hash marks are 41, 42, 43, 44, and 45. They're divided equally. So, I'm sorry. Pineapple is at 40. This is for apple juice. So I'll put my 40 in here. Sometimes you just have to take a minute to collect your thoughts and really look closely and pay attention to what you're doing. Like I did not just do a good job of, but there should be 40 in pineapple. And then carrot juice. I've got 5, 10, 15, and I'm almost to 20, but not quite. So this dashed line here is going to be at 19 for carrot juice. And then my apple juice was the one that was just over 40. So I've got one more over 40, so that would be 41. And like I said, I just like to write them in there. Then I don't have to keep going back and forth. I remember exactly what they are. Number 16, some number of people like mixed berry juice. If I go up to mixed berry juice, my number is right here. I can see that 25 people like mixed berry juice. 19 people like, well, my 19's right here. I already filled that in. So I'm going to put carrot juice right in there. The most popular juice, look at the tallest bar, is orange juice. 16 more people like apple juice than what other juice? 16 more people like apple juice than what other juice? And you could do the subtraction here. You could say 41 minus 16 equals, and you could do all your regrouping, and you could come up with somebody that has some juice has 25 people that like it, and I know that's mixed berries. So I could do it that way, and I could get the mixed berry juice here just by taking away the 16 from the number of people who like apple juice. Or I could go up to my apple juice bar and say, well, this is 41. So there's 1 right there. That's 40. There's 6. Okay, 6 less people. There's 11 less people. And there is 16 less people. So that's a little trickier depending on how well you can read a graph, but this line right here is going to be the same as the mixed berry, and that's going to prove that I could just count down 16 on my graph and still end up at the mixed berry juice bar. Okay, so there's two different ways to do that one. 10 fewer people like blank juice than the most popular juice. Again, this one's the same thing. You could subtract it away and say, well, orange juice is my most popular juice, and 10 fewer people like this one, so I know I'm looking for the juice that 40 people like. Okay, and that's going to be pineapple. Or I could count backwards from my orange juice line and say, well, here's 45 people like it. Here's 40 people like it. That's 10 less, 5, 10, and it's the same as my pineapple bar. So again, once you have a graph in place, there's two ways to do it. You can do the calculation, or you can just look right on the graph if you know how. Number 21 says, what can you say about orange juice and carrot juice? They're not looking for whether you like it or not. Sometimes kids get to that one, they go, oh, I can say I like orange juice better than carrot juice. That's not what they're looking for. Okay, what they're looking for is if you compare the number of people that like orange juice and the number of people that like carrot juice, what do you end up with? And what they want you to write is more people like orange juice or prefer orange juice than carrot juice. That's all they want. It's nothing tricky. It's not some fancy thing. They're not asking you to tell the differences. They're just telling you to use the information that's there and come up with a sentence. More people like orange juice than carrot juice. If you wanted to be super specific, you could say 31 more people like orange juice than carrot juice, because if I take 50 the people that like orange juice and take away my 19, I would end up with 31. But you don't have to get that specific. You can just write more people like orange juice than carrot juice. So moving on to the next page, I'm going to have you do this one on your own and then come back and check your work. I will read the questions to you. On the next page, you're just going to do it on your own and come back and check your work. So Danny sold flowers at the farmer's market. The bar graph shows the number of flowers he sold. Title, vertical axis label, horizontal axis label, scale is 50. Each one of these then would be in sets of 10. Number 22, how many daisies did Danny sell? Number 23, he sold 150 more carnations than another flower. Which kind of flower? Number 24, he sold twice as many sunflowers as another kind of flower. Which kind of flower? How many fewer sunflowers than roses were sold? And he sold a total of 750 of two kinds of flowers. Which two kinds of flowers could they be? So you need to take a look at that graph and see if you can figure out those answers, write them in, and then come back and check your work. Okay, it gets a little hard to read here, so I'm going to just go through my numbers first. Sunflowers, he sold 280. Roses, he sold 480. Tulips, he sold 140. Daisies, he sold 300. And carnations, he sold 450. So those are the numbers you're working with, and that's important because if you get those numbers wrong, your math is going to be wrong. So I'll zoom into the bottom and you can check your work. Number 22, Danny sold 300 daisies. Number 23, he sold 150 more carnations than he sold daisies. Okay, because I started with 450, I took away those 150, and I ended up with 300, and that's how many daisies I have. He sold twice as many sunflowers as another kind of flower. If I look at sunflowers, really there's only one that's less than sunflower. So I know if I look at this, this is the only one it could be. But I also just did the quick math here. 140 tulips plus 140 tulips gives me 280. Twice as many would be sunflowers. How many fewer sunflowers than roses were sold? 200. Took away my 280 sunflowers from my 480 roses, and I ended up with 200. And he sold a total of 752 of two kinds of flowers. Which two kinds of flowers could they be? The only two, if you add them up, that end up being 750 would be daisies and carnations. So anything else you add up is not going to work if you use two kinds of flowers. All right, we'll switch over to the next page, and this one you will do completely on your own, and then you'll come back and check your work, and we'll be done with math for today. Okay, here I am back. I got my numbers filled in. 18 students' favorite subject is math, 15 reading, science is 12, social studies is 12. Please do not ask me why they gave you such tiny lines to write in, because I found that kind of irritating myself, but it is what it is. So I'll zoom in, show you the answers, and then you'll move on with your day. All right, number 27, 18 students like math. Number 28, 3 fewer students like science and social studies than reading. This is a confusing sentence to read. The first time I looked at it, I thought math should go here, but I'm 90% certain it should be science and social studies. So I don't know why they didn't give you 2 blanks. If I'm wrong, you can certainly come back and let me know on the meeting link, and I will make that adjustment. But I think 3 fewer students like science and social studies than reading. Number 29, the number of students who like science is equal to the number of students who like social studies, or you could have flipped them around and said social studies here and science here. And then number 30, a total of 39 students like 3 kinds of subjects. If I add up reading, science, and social studies, then I should end up with 39. So on the blank, you're going to write reading, science, and social studies. And again, I don't know why they didn't give you bigger or more lines unless I completely did this wrong, which does happen sometimes. So like I said, if I made a mistake somewhere, please come back and let me know. I have no problem with that. Otherwise, please move on with your day and have a great day and have a great long weekend. Thanks, kids. Bye.